Social issues after the war. One major issue was poverty. This poverty was present in both the cities and the countryside. Rising numbers of immigrants meant cities were overwhelmed. This increasing population also led to fierce competition in the job market. Increased automation meant the death of many rural jobs such as raising livestock. A global world led to increased competition with international traders. Many minorities struggled after the war. There was an influx of immigration which saw many African Americans move to the north and west. They faced significant discrimination in the form of Jim Crow laws. Public facilities were commonly segregated and whites received major advantages during this time period. The Native American termination policy was when the federal government tried to absorb Native Americans into American culture. The government ended special treaties they had formed with the Native Americans and relocated them to cities. Special exemptions for Native Americans were revoked during this time. The government also ended the existence of several reservations during this time. This had negative effects on the overall health, education, and well-being of the Native American people. The 1950s saw a renewal of urban areas during this time. Slums were removed as the federal government provided aid to cities and created affordable housing. However, hundreds of thousands of residents were displaced, with most of those being minorities. Not much housing was ever built, which led to a loss of overall living space in many of the cities. Rock and roll emerged during this time period. It was a combination of several musical styles and originated from the works of African American musicians. It was condemned by adults and aimed chiefly at American youth. Elvis Presley emerged as the figurehead of this time period. He brought rock and roll into the mainstream and became one of the most popular musicians ever. An anti-traditional literary movement known as the Beat Generation began during the 1950s. This movement rejected conformism and formality and was comfortable dealing with explicit topics such as drugs. This movement purposely opposed main society by behaving in a unique manner. They left a lasting impact on society and the American psyche. Overall, the 1950s were a period of change. Americans started to rebel against traditional norms. This set the stage for the civil rights movement of the next decade.